Hello dear student. In last lecture we have finished with the aromatic hydrocarbons. Now today we'll begin with the new chapter, Unit 3, Section A, Electronic Displacement. In this chapter we are going to see different electronic displacements like inductive effect, resonance effect or hyperconjugation and resonance effect, etc. Why to study this electronic displacement? Because this electronic displacement changes or influences the behavior of the organic compounds. Like it influences the behavior of the organic compounds. How the organic compounds behavior may influence. Say suppose some groups are attached to a particular compound and that group increases its behavior in the sense that nucleophile can attack it very easily. So in this way the nature of that compound is or the organic compound is changed or the behavior of the organic compound is changed and it is made more susceptible to the nucleophilic substitution. Likewise, same in the electrophilic substitution, when some group is attached to an organic compound, which influences or which suscepts or which increases the reactivity of that particular compound, so that electrophile can easily attack on that compound. In this way, particular group on attaching to the organic compound makes it more susceptible to the electrophilic substitution, and this is how this electronic displacements in covalent bonds influences the behavior of the organic compounds. And there were some displacements are there which includes inductive effect, resonance effects or the electromeric effects, out of which this inductive effect and resonance effect are permanent effect and electromeric effects are temporary effect. Permanent effect are called polarization effect and temporary effect are called polarizability effect. Okay. Now let's begin with the inductive effect. What is the definition of inductive effect? Inductive effect is defined as the permanent polarization created in covalent bond due to displacement of pi electron towards more electronegative atom. So suppose this is the example of inductive effect. See, carbon is attached to a chlorine group where chlorine is more electronegative than carbon, right? Chlorine is more electronegative than carbon. Then there is a covalent bond between carbon and chlorine. And covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons, right? Suppose two electrons are there in between carbon and chlorine, so that this is the covalent bond. And due to the electronegative nature of this chlorine, what happens? These two electrons shifted more towards the most electronegative, that is chlorine atom, and hence there will be a polarization between these two atoms, that is carbon and chlorine. And what happens, this two electrons which are shared between these two atoms get shifted more towards the chlorine, and there were induction of the polarization into this sigma bond, and delta positive charge on carbon and delta negative charge on chlorine gets generated due to the pull of electron of the sigma bond by the chlorine towards itself. So this causes the polarization in the carbon chlorine bond, which is a permanent polarization, and such effect is called as inductive effect. Okay, such effect is called as inductive effect. And now there were two types in this inductive effect: positive inductive effect and negative inductive effect, which is shown by plus I and minus I signs. Okay. So what is positive inductive effect? The atoms or groups which loses electron towards carbon atom are said to be positive inductive effect. When such some atom attached to this carbon chain that donates electron to the carbon, okay, in the reverse direction as we have seen in the previous example, that is bond between carbon and chlorine. But here bond is there between carbon and oxygen. In this case, the oxygen pulls the electron more towards the carbon and hence it belongs to the plus I effect giving group. Okay, and the atoms or groups which withdraws electron from the carbon are said to be minus I effect. Okay, so chlorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, amine, primary amines, secondary amines, then not tertiary but nitro group, cynato, aromatic groups, OH, sulfonic acid group, aldehyde group, ketone group, acid group, etc. comes under the plus I inductive effect giving groups. Okay. So now the example is there. Suppose these three carbons are attached in a chain to a chlorine. What happens over here? This chlorine, due to its electronegativity, pulls the electron from every bond between the, suppose say this is electronegative, it pulls electron between these bonds, and due to which these electron in these bonds also get shifted more towards this carbon. Again, this effect gets shifted more and more towards the next carbon atom. Okay, so electron between these bonds get shifted towards this carbon, electron between these bonds get shifted towards this carbon atom, and electron between these bond between carbon and chlorine get shifted towards the chlorine atom. But keep in mind, after the first carbon atom, that is in second and third, the magnitude of this inductive effect is less compared to C1 because it is directly attached to electronegative atom, and the electronegativity of C1 and C2 or C2 and C3 are same. Hence, the pull of electron between these bond is more compared to these and these bond. Okay, so this is the thing over there. Now, what are the applications of inductive effect to study this inductive effect? Now, let's say take example of the strength of chloroacetic acid and acetic acid, which is more acidic. Say this is the structure of chloroacetic acid, Cl. One of the hydrogen from this group, that is CH3 group, here in acetic acid, this is CH3 group, but one of the hydrogen of these three hydrogens get replaced by a chlorine group in chloroacetic acid. Rest of the thing is same. What happens over here? This chlorine, as it is a more electronegative element, it pulls off the electron from the next bonds, okay, between this carbon chloride and this carbon carbon and this oxygen carbon 2. So it's pulling its electron, and what happens? This proton over here is more prone to the donation. Okay, this chloroacetic acid can donate this proton more easily compared to this proton in acetic acid, because there were no inductive effect in this acetic acid, but there is an inductive effect in this chloroacetic acid. So the pKa value of chloroacetic acid is 2.86, and here in acetic acid it is 4.76, and as the pKa value is less, acidity will be more, right? So here the sentence is written like that. Then the strength of acid depends on its tendency to release proton in a aqueous solution. The greater this tendency will be, the greater will be the strength of the acid. So here in chloroacetic acid, this tendency to release this proton, this H plus ion, is more in aqueous solution as compared to acetic acid, and hence chloroacetic acid is more acidic as compared to the acetic acid, right? Understanding? Now let's say next example, the relative strength of acetic acid and formic acid. So here in formic acid, this is hydrogen, right, which is attached directly to carbon, not to oxygen, and right here it is attached to oxygen. So we are not considering this, but we are considering this particular hydrogen. And here this hydrogen group in formic acid is replaced by CH3 group. Okay, so this CH3 group is again bit electron withdrawing as compared to that of the hydrogen. See, say the electronegativity carbon is more than that of the hydrogen. Hence, what happens? This delta positively charged carbon from carbonyl bond donates its electron to this methylic group, and hence its pK value is 4.76 and its pK value is 3.77. Hence, because of the electron withdrawing methyl group opposes the donation of this particular proton, and hence formic acid is stronger than that of the acetic acid. Whereas in this case helps the this chlorine due to this pool helps the release of the proton from acetic acid, and hence chloroacetic acid is stronger. In case of here it is same, this is more electron what pooling compared to this hydrogen, and hence it will be more acidic than that of the formic acid. Okay, just a bit confusion over here about these values, but we'll see it in next class about these values, how these values gets more in this case and less in this case. Okay, so that part we'll take in the next lecture. Now next example is the relative strength of methylamine and ammonia. Okay, so what happens over in methylamine? This is more electron negative element out of these two. So what happens? It pulls the electron from this CH3 group. So the pKb value of this methylamine is 3.37, and that of ammonia it is 4.74. Here it is the pKb value, and in previous example that was the pKa value. Okay, so more the pKb value, more will be its acidity, right, and less will be its basicity. Less will be its basicity. Correct. So the pKb value more, basicity less. So inversely proportional. Now say let's strength of nitrogen containing base depends on its availability of these lone pairs for protonation. The greater this availability of this lone pair, the greater will be the strength of this base. So here, due to pull of these electrons from the methyl group, these electrons are more readily available for the donation. But here in this case what happens? These are the two electrons over there, or the lone pair of electron is there, and it don't have any external pull like this inductive effect over here in this methylamine as compared to ammonia. Hence methylamine will be more basic to when compared with ammonia. So that the sentence written over here is the methylamine. In methylamine, the electron releasing inductive effect of methyl group, there will be increase in the electron density over this nitrogen, and which increases the availability of this lone pair of electron for the protonation, and so methylamine is more basic than that of the ammonia. Understanding? So this is how we end up with the plus I and minus I effect today. In next lecture, we are going to see the next about this chapter or the electronic displacements. Thank you.